Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're playing Murder Mystery. It's actually called Murder Mystery Sudoku style, but here I am shortening it so that I can fit it on the title and the screen. I think you know what time it is. We are going back to the Murder Mystery series. This is the original one from the Bard. And the puzzle, if you recall, I absolutely struggled with last time. And I'm really hoping this time I won't struggle with as much, but I'm not entirely hopeful. That's the wrong way to phrase it. I am hoping I won't struggle as much, but I'm not certain that will be the case. Because last time it was actually a 1-star difficulty rated, and this time it's a 2-star difficulty rated puzzle, as they often are for weekends. So, this time the digits all went to a party in a castle. There's a bunch of decoration there, and a murder has occurred, and Sleuth is here trying to figure everything out with all of the guests gathering in some kind of lovely grand hall that's beautifully decorated. Hopefully you guys can help Sleuth figure out who the murderer is, what digit it is, and that's what we have in store for today. Let's take a look at today's rule sets and puzzle. So, Murder Mystery Sudoku style by the Bard, and I think you all know what that means. It means that the font is for the rule sets is probably a little bit too difficult to see. As always, there's a link down in the description down below for you to just click on it and start playing if you wish to, as well as the full rule set for you to be able to read at your leisure with the right font size. So, backstory, all the digits went to a party, but there was a murderer among them. They need your help with the clues to solve who the killer is. Will you prove to be the great Sherdoku Holmes? Now, place all the digits 0 to 9 in each row, column, box, and marked diagonal. I kind of didn't see the diagonal. But one digit in each was murdered and will not fit. So the stress here is on 0 to 9. That's 10 digits. And obviously, every row, every column, every box, and even this marked diagonal are all 9 cells. So that means you're not always going to be, you're never going to be able to place all of the digits 0 to 9. One of them in every single one of these is going to be missing. So this will be very tricky, because that means that some of the normal Sudoku rules are not, or kind of tips and tricks don't quite exactly work. Now, the victims vary and can even be the same value as the killer. Same as what we've seen. Box 1 is the dungeon. And inside there are killer cages. So all the digits in their cage sum to the value in the corner. So if this cell here is a 2, for example, this would have to be a 5 to make sure that it does add up to 7. That's one possibility, for example. What else do we have? Box 3 is a library with white dots. They kind of look like, I guess, lined up books. White dots digits are consecutive. If that was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3, for example, to make sure it is consecutive. And black dots are in a 1 to 2 ratio. If that was the 2, this would have to be 1 or 4 to make sure that one cell is double the other. The tower. So arrows is, box 5, yeah. So is the tower, and arrows, digits along an arrow add to the number in the circle. I'm going to use this one in here. So if this is 2 and 3, for example, these two cells are adding up to 5, which you need to be able to add into this circle. That's one way of doing it. Box 7, the ballroom. I guess this is where we're all gathering, given the beautiful scenery in the thumbnail. So thermometers, digits along the grey line increase from the bulb end. So if this was a 2, this would have to be 3 or higher, 4 or higher. What I couldn't do is go back down to 1. That is no longer increasing from the bulb end. I have broken it. The billiards room, X and V's, digits with an X add up to 10. So if that's a 2, this would have to be an 8. Digits with a V add up to 5. If this was a 2, this would have to be a 3 to make sure that these two cells add up to 5. Now, boxes 2, 4, 6, and 8 are hallways that are connecting all of this. And in there is evens, so digits in a odd and even. Digits in a grey circle, there's only one of them, have to be odd. So this would be 13579, for example. Digits with a square have to be even. Remember, 0 counts as even in this case, so 02468. So, yep, for this mystery, 0 is considered even. And then Remban, digits along the purple line are consecutive in some order. If that was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 3. It's kind of almost like white Kropki dot because they're all 2 cells. So, okay. What else do we know? In the end, you will find one last place while the killer hides his last victim. Know this: the killer is to be identified to solve the puzzle, and you will know him because the killer will be the digit with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Q. Thunder and lightning causing the lights to dim. I didn't put any thunder and lightning in the thumbnail. Kind of didn't get that far in the rule sets. So, plenty to unravel here. And as always, to play along, link will be in the description down below. Please play along. Sleuth needs your help to actually try and solve this puzzle. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. It took 6 minutes and a bit to actually explain all of these rules. There's a lot of them. So, I think there's a few places that feel like the place to start. Let me just think first. 3, 23, 26, 26. Oh, it's not going to work. Is it? No, it could. Phew. Sorry, for a second there I was really confused as, the missing digit, it may still add up to 45. Don't just ignore what it... How about I just do this? 3 and 7, that's 10. 7 and 23, that's 30. So I have 40 in here. So the missing digit is a 5. Not exactly helpful, because a missing digit of 5 means that, I don't know if this is 0, 3, for example, or 1, 2. But the only thing I know is that 2, 5 is not available, but actually 7 is, incredibly. 23 and 3 cells, that is absolutely 689. There's no other way of getting to 23, regardless of whether 0 is involved or not. Now, that does mean that one of these 7 cells has a 0, because it will essentially, where does 7 go in box 1? Remember, the digit that's missing is 5, because essentially I added up all of the digits 0 to 9, got to 45. I added all of these cages and got to 40. Therefore, the missing digit is 5. So because there is 7 in here, it's going to be inside one of these cages. There's no negative numbers. It's not 7 with a -4, for example. So one of these is 7, 0. And therefore, this is absolutely 1, 2. And therefore, there is a 3, 4, because 5 is the missing digit in here. Lovely. Say lovely. I have no idea what's going on. Right. This thermometer, I can pencil mark it. I should probably pencil mark it. So there is essentially a degree of freedom because I can actually start from 0. So 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8, 9. Can I force anything with any of this? Not really. Can't force anything in here because, again, 0 and 5 would actually work. Don't know what's the missing digit. Box 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 cells. There has to be a 0 on here. If there isn't a 0, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, that's already at 10. That's not going to work. Now, having said that at the same time, so I know that there is a 0 in here, but nevertheless, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells. If I remove a 0, I really have 4 cells that are unique. 1, 2, 3, 4 is the minimum, which gets me to 10 divided by 2 because I've got 2 arrows. So this is at least a 5, which is not. It's 6, 7, 8, or 9. I don't actually know what it is. Box 3, maybe? So the black Kropki dots, I think... Yeah, I can't put a 0 on here. 0 times anything will still be 0. And this is not 1, 2. This is essentially 3, 6, or 4, 8. Now, one of these will be 1, 2. One of these will be 3, 6, or 4, 8. The white Kropki dot in here, is that going to help me at all? be honest, I really don't know what I'm doing. This is a very tricky puzzle. I really do struggle with these. Interestingly, I just spotted a 1-2 pair in here. I mean, it's interesting and not interesting at the same time because it doesn't like it doesn't remove anything. There's nothing that is 1-2. It does mean that this is not 0, 1, or 2. These being even, let me think about this. So there has to be a 0 on this arrow, on this 4-cell arrow. If it's a 0 in here, it removes the degree of freedom from this entire thermometer. That's a triplet. That's not a 6. That's an 8, that would be 9. That would be 6, 8, that would be 9. That would be 2. Sorry, that would be 3, excuse me. That would be 2, so that would be 1, that would be 2. That would be 7, which would make this the 3-4 pair. You know, it really does work with the 0 in here. Now, the other possibility, which is kind of, I sort of went down this route, is the 0 is in here, and then I've used up all of the even digits between 2, 4, 6, and 8 and 0 in here. This ends up being entirely made up of odd numbers, plus the 0, of course, which is already at 0, 1, 3. I guess I could have a 2 again in here, can't I? This is not very helpful. Okay, this may be more helpful. Let me just think about this. So 8, 7, 6, that works. So I could do 8, 7, 6, 3. Right, I will go through all the options. 8, 4, and then 1, 2. The 8 would force a 9 in here. The 6 and the 1, 2 don't really do much. Right. Next possibility was 6. Now, 6, I guess, would have to get to 4, or 8, actually. I could go 6, 7, and then back up to 8, and 4, and a 3 in here. But I could also get to 4. I could do 6, 5, 4, 6, 5, 4, 8, and 3. Remember, it has to be 4, 8, not 4, 2. Otherwise, you know, I haven't got enough digits for the black Kropke dots. Next one would be 4 in here, 8 in there. The 4, can I get to a 2? I think I could. I could go 4, 3, 2, unfortunately, and a 1. And therefore, the 4 with an 8, and then 3, 6 in here. This is not looking great. This is really not looking great. I should have used this white Kropke dot. I never thought about it. Oh, come on, Sleuth. That was obvious. There's never a 3 in here. Which one did I just say will use a 3? Yeah. The 4 can't use a 3 because the 4... Yeah, I was having a senior moment there. So the 4 would have to go 5, 6, 3. Because this can never be a 3... I mean, like this, and this can't be a 1, 2 pair. And this can't be a 3, can it? If I put a 3 in here, I can't put 2 or 4 because they're on the Kropke dots. So this is not a 3. So in every scenario, this is 1 and 2. And this has to be the 0. Because if it is a 2, well, 1 and 3 are gone. So that's the 1, that's the 2, that's the 0. This is 5, 7, 9. And then that is fairly extensive. And I can't use the 9, it doesn't get me to anything. It's a shame it doesn't actually help me with any of these cells. 0 and 2, that means this is, well, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. That's almost not worthwhile pencil marking. It has to be 3, 7, and 4, 8, because 1 and 2 are gone. The 3 and 4 would be in here. The 6 and 7 would be in there. To add up to 5, this would be 1 or 2. 3, 4 pair gives me a 5 digits. Please, more digits. 8, 9, which removes the 9s from here, gives me a 9 in here. That's a 6, 8 pair. The 7 is very helpful. That is not 0, 7. That is 3, 4. That is not 3, 4. That is 0, 7. That is not a 7. Much better now. I'm feeling like maybe I will be able to solve it after all. The degree of freedom in here remains, which is fine. Fine. 9, 8. I mean, I could do 7, 6, not 5. So this could be 6, 7, not 5. It could be 3, 4. It could be 3, 4, but not any further because of the 1 and 2. So this is 3, 4, or 6, 7, interestingly. So these 4 cells are 0, 3, 4, 6, and 7. We just don't know which one is the missing digit from here. Still fine. Okay. Oh, that's 7. Come on, Sleuth. 0, 7. Removes all of the degrees of freedom. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. That is lovely. That 2 gives me a 1 up here, a 2 there. Excellent. This is no longer 6, 7. This is indeed 3, 4. And there was a 0 or something else. A 6, it seems. Yeah. In here, I have, I'm going to say, so 0, 1, I have 2, I have 5, 8, and 9. That is clearly not 5 or 9 because it needs to be even. These cells, let's think about it. So I've got 0, 1, 7, 5, and 7. And this is not 1 or 7, it's 0 or 4. So far, not brilliant. Oh, 3, 4, no 4s. There was never a 4. Sorry, 5 is what I meant to say. Did I mistype this or did I just, I don't know. So 6, 8, 4, 2. Yes, this has to be a 0. So no zeros in any of these. This is 1, 5, or 7. That 0 gives me a 6 in here. And because of this 4, that makes this 2 or 8. 0, no longer in any of these cells. That has to be the 0 because there has to be one on these 4 cells. But it still means I can have an even digit on here and likely do actually. Anyway. Have I missed any other Sudoku? Often the case. Not sure I have really. This cell, no, that doesn't feel like the right place. That is not a 6. That is not a 5. Right. So maybe a question is, does the 1 have to be here? Sorry, I'm just going to pretend for a second this is a 2. Does that have any problems? Well, it's not 5, 6. That would become 7. That would become 9. I could even do 3, 4 and a 7. I don't even have to have a 1 on any of these, as silly as that sounds. So, no, this doesn't have to be a 1. 1, 5, 9, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. There's another 4, 6, 8. There's one more digit. 2 more digits, sorry. 3 and 7. sure I really like this, but 3, 7, 4, 6, 8. That can't be an 8. There's no way it is. It can't be a 7 either, even if this is 1, 2. That's not a 7. But 3, 4, 6 is still possible. So we know that this is odd, this because this is even. That gives me 3, 7, 2. I was there a while and just missed it. 10 in here. Well, it's not 9, 8, 7, it's 4, 6. That is forced, which makes this 0, 5. No other way of getting to 5 in 2 cells. 2, 3 is gone. 1, 4 is gone. That's got to be 0, 5. That gives me 9. That gives me 7, which removes 4 from both of these, which removes 8 from both of these. That's a 3, 4 pair. That's a 6, 8 pair. 3 and 4 makes this a 6, makes this a 4, makes this an 8, makes this a 4, a 3, a 6. Removes 6 from both of these. And 8. So this is 3, 4, 7. And we get to lose one of them in this diagonal. 3, 4 pair as well in the row. Interesting. What are these cells? 1, 8, 9. That is not a 1. In fact, 9 and 8. That is a 1. That is 8 or 9. In fact, it is a 9. Is that 4, 6, 8 for both of them? No, the 4 is gone. And this is not 6, 8. 6, 8 and 9 again. Okay, in here. So 0 and 1 are gone. I could have 2 with a 3. I could have 4 with a 3, not 5. Okay. I can't have 6. Surely I could have 8. No, because 7 and 9 are gone. This is always a 3. Incredibly. This is 2, 4 with an 8. One of them is missing. And in this column, I'm going to say I have 0, 1, 7, 5. No, no 5. 0, 1, 7. So I'm missing 5 in the column, but it's not in here. So no 0, 1, 7s in here, but there isn't any anyway. That is 1, 7 pair. That is not a 5. Don't know why it was ever on as an option. Let's just think. So 0, 1. I mean, this is again 2, 8, 9, but I'm missing another digit, 4. Can't have a 9 on the arrow. You know, just wake up, Sleuth. Am I really going to pencil mark all the options for these arrows? That just feels ridiculous. I'm almost certainly not going to do that. Almost certainly. I'm using my words carefully because I may well end up doing that like very soon. But hang on, 5 gives me 0 and 5. Right, maybe go, yeah, let's do it this way. So I need another odd and even. 8, 6, and 4. So this is 2 or 0. It can't be 0 because the 1 is not available. This is definitely a 2. So this is, and it's not 1, it's 2, 3. It's lovely. So this cell is either 0 or the other missing digits, possibly missing digits, the 5. This is an odd digit. It's not 5 or 3. 1, 7, 9. Looks it. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Yep. 1, 7, 9. I mean, all of this is 1, 7, 9 plus something else in 8. I really dislike all of this pencil marking. This is not 0 or 1, 2, 3. This is at least a 4. That is interesting. And if it's not 5, it is 6, and it's not 7, it could be 8. So this is at least, Yeah, because this is not a 0, this could be a 1. This is at least 5. Kind of interesting. Zero, 2, 4, that means this is another 6, 8. This Remban, actually, hang on, that 3 gave me a 4 and 3 ages ago, and that 8 gave me 6 and 8 ages ago. And that 8 gives me a 6. So that is useful. That means we've done all the even numbers, haven't we? Yeah, that's 5 of them. So odd to say that, but that is 1, 3, 5. This cell, 0, 2, 4, 6. This is definitely an 8 with either 7 or 9. And we have an odd digit because we've used all the evens at this point. So it's 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. So many pencil marks. How am I going to see anything? There could be a 0, a 2, a 4. I'm not going to pencil mark this. That 0 was looking at this for ages. That is a 5. By the way, like, I mean, I should have mentioned this earlier. For this mystery, blah, 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 blah. In the end, you will find one last place while the killer hides his last victim. Know this, the killer is to be identified to solve the puzzle, and you will know him because the killer will be the digit with nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I strongly suspect we're going to find something where it's essentially an unknown cell. We can't complete it. And that it has optionality about whether it's 0 or something else. But anyhow, the killer, almost certainly based on the language, is 0 because the killer will be the digit with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Anyhow, bit of a distraction, pardon me. So these are 4, 6, 8s and 0s. It's got to be the arrows. I've got to do something with these arrows that's actually useful other than just stare at them. How about also some Sudoku? Don't entirely ignore it. That is not a 4, that is a 2. That is not a 2. This is 4 or 8. 3, 4 pair. So, possibilities. Oh, hang on. 2 bounces back, gives me an 8 in here. No 8s. That 8 bounces back again. That is a 6. 2, 6, 8, 0, and 3, 4. Lovely. Right, so I have another 1, 7, 5, and 9. Can't have 9 on the arrow. 7 with 2 actually works. And of course, because we don't know which digit is missing, that could be a 9. Hang on. Can't be a 9, again. No 9s. So in this row, the 9 is the missing cell. Which means one of these is a 5 for sure. 5 and 3 is already placing me at 8 with a 1. This has to be a 9. Yeah, 5, 3, and 1 other way around would get me to a 9. This is always a 9. None of these are 9s. The interesting bit is that can actually be the 5. I could still have 5, 4, 3, 1. Or I could have 5, 3, 1, 8. What I can't have is a 2 in here. And I'm pretty sure I don't have a 7 in here. That's a 1, 5 pair. That is a 7. That is a 1. And that is a 0. That is not a 6. So one of these is the missing digit from 4, 8, 9. Okay. Progress. Slow. But steady. One gave me a 7. Not 7. 1, 5. 2592934. I don't know how to make progress. I think that's generally the theme I'm finding in this puzzle is how do I make progress, and I'm constantly struggling. 1 8 would make this 8, and then this would be 7 or 9. I don't see the problem with that. 5 4, again, I don't see the problem with that. So 1 and 5 are not in this cell. Nor 0. Let's think about minimums for a second. 2 could be a possibility. That's the absolute minimum. Presumably so is 3. I can actually avoid the 3, can't I? Or is that always 1 3 5? That is always 1 3 5. Wake up, Sleuth. It's just whether this is 1 or 5. That was always the optionality. So this is 4, this is 3. So there is no 3 in here. 4 or 7 is the missing digit on the diagonal. So given this is a minimum of 2, and it's not a 3, the next digit along would be 4. 4, I couldn't have a 4 down here because that would be, the next digit would obviously be 6, and that would add up to 10. So I can't go, I mean, the highest digits would have been a 5 with a 4, but I don't have a 5 either. So I think the 2 is incredibly forced. Not 0, not 1, not 3, and 4 is too big, and 5 is not available, and 6 is definitely too big. 2. Which means that is not a 4, otherwise it would add up to 6. So this has to be a 6. This has to be an 8. This has to be a 4. This has to be the 5. This has to be the 1. This has to be the 7. So I'm missing a 4 on the diagonal, and I don't know what I'm missing in here right now, but I'm missing something in the box. 6. That 8 gave me a 9 and a 4 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2. Lovely. This is a 3 because it's not 1 or 5. That is not a 1. That is not a 5. That is a 7-9 pair. So the missing digit is one of 2 cells in here, which is, I'm going to say 4 or 8 for a second. 0, 1, 2, 3, obviously 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 4 or 8, but I have to have an 8 in here. That is a 4. Not a 3. This is 1 or 5. Not a 5. That is a 1. These 2 cells, so I have 0, 2. I'm going to say 0, 2, 5. And this is not a 5. This could be anything. So this is a 7, 8, 9 triplet, and I'm missing a 5 in here. And that couldn't be the 5 because it would have to be 6 or 4, which is not. Okay. So the 7, 8, 9 is definitely in here. That 8 gave me the 8 ages ago. Therefore, this is a 7, not a 9. This is a 9, not a 7. This is a 7. None of these are 7. That 8 gave me a 1, not a 1. Not an 8 either. That's a 9. These 2 cells now, surely, come on, we're nearly there. It'll be awful if I've broken it somewhere earlier and I just haven't noticed. So 0, 4, 8. Neither of them are 8 actually because of this double 8. And that is a 0. That is a 4. That 0 gave me a 2, which gives me a 3, which gives me a 2. So not 2. It is 0 or 5. So based on what that last sentence is, in the end, you will find one last place while the killer hides his last victim. Know this, the killer is to be identified to solve the puzzle, and you will know him because the killer will be the digit with nothing to lose and everything to gain. Now, I don't know if that's meant to say it is 0 to identify the killer. I think that's what it's meant to say. Right, let's give this a go. 0. It's a much smoother solve compared to the previous attempt. 28 minutes. I'm actually pretty proud of that. But I mean, it's a fantastic series. I think once you sort of once your mind wraps around this rule set and you proceed with extreme caution because of the 0, 1, 0 to 9, and forget everything about Sudoku to a degree, yeah, you can make some headway. Hope that you guys enjoyed the puzzle and the video. Yeah, I'm happy with the solve. And just a quick reminder, the next video will not actually be from myself, but a collaboration with Timberlake, who's over at Smart Hobbies. You can check out his channel. I will promote it when the video comes along. But equally, if you want to stick to the Sudoku variants, because he will be featuring a classic puzzle, the Sudoku variant puzzle that I normally would have posted will be on his channel. And it'll be an absolute cracker from James Sinclair. So check that one out as well. Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye for now.